Hello everyone, I am Shubha. I am working in a private hospital, Bangalore, in the Department of Quality, and I have 10 years of experience. Today, we'll discuss about the required evidences for self-assessment toolkit 5th edition. We'll go through one by one. Chapter 1, AAC, Access, Assessment and Continuity of Care. The members or the staffs involved in this activity are management team, front office, staff at outpatient department and inpatient department, HR department, quality team, and all staffs for adherence to the standard. Objective element AAC.1A speaks about hospital service and community needs. Evidences required are display board with the department wise scope of services, and it should be near the respective departments, clearly indicating the inclusions and the exclusions. Display board with the floor wise directory, and display board with the organization's scope of services in the front office reception area, indicating inclusions and the services not being offered as exclusion. Objective element AAC.1B. This speaks about the right resources for the defined service. Evidences are each defined healthcare service should have diagnostic and treatment services with suitably qualified personnel who can provide outpatient, inpatient and emergency cover. Then the scope of services display board, floor wise directory and list of consultants and the specialty. The names of consultants shall be displayed with their specialization, including the days and timings. Then from HR side, the competency of skilled resources, the qualification, experience, training, certificates and skills acquired shall be evidenced, and it should be there in their personal files by the HR department. The credentials and privileges document for all doctors, nurses and technicians should be available. Objective element AAC.1C speaks about the department scope of services. SOP should be there, policy on scope of healthcare services for each department. It should be defined. Department scope of services should be displayed near respective departments. List of conditions of services offered, both diagnostic and therapeutic services should be displayed. Objective element AAC.1D speaks about display of services. Evidences, display boards. Display the organization wise and department wise scope of services should be in two languages, bilingual, English and the local language, and it should be placed in a prominent location. Display board with exclusions. The display board should clearly indicate the services not offered under exclusions. The list of consultants and their specialty. The names of the consultants and the specialization should be displayed. Earlier I told OPD days and with timings. And outsourced services should be clearly displayed. Types, for example, CT, MRI, blood banks, etc. Standard AAC.2. The organization has a well-defined registration and admission process. The members, the departments involved in this activity are management team, clinical team, nursing, quality team, diagnostic. Objective element AAC.2A speaks about the documentation. SOP should be there on patient registration and admission policy. Then patient registration document and generation of UHID. The process should be clearly defined and adhered to. Patient admission record shall be evidence to verify the UHID. Patient medical record from admission formalities and traceability with UHID across all services areas shall be evidenced. AAC.2b objective element AAC.2b speaks about unique hospital identification generation process. Evidences are registration records. HIC records or manual forms shall be evidenced. And SOP on the generation of UHID. Patient medical record. The record should demonstrate traceability of UHID across all service areas such as diagnostic and therapeutic services. Objective element AAC.2c speaks about the process in consonance with scope of services. Evidences are the staff training program, includes training plan and induction training material. Staff training records, induction training details and ongoing training records. Document on scope of services verified by display and interview to the department staffs. Communication system at the front office. The information brochures and tariff details should be available. Objective element 2D speaks about the process in consonance with scope of services. Evidences are the policy. SOP should be there to address the unavailability of beds. Medical record to check the intra-transfer of patients, and admission and discharge record. The date, time, type of admission and any changes shall be evidenced in the patient record. Objective element AAC.2e access on priority. Evidences are patient medical record. It shall be evidenced to verify priority admission and care management history. Registration document process shall clearly be mentioned in the prioritization system. Consultants notes include assessment notes, care plan and reassessment notes. If they can mention as if it is urgent case, they can write urgent on that admission slip. Patient registration and admission policy. Written guidance should be there. Employee induction program. Staff training record should demonstrate the respective training undergone, especially for the staff directly involved in admission and care management. AAC.3 standard AAC.3, there is an appropriate mechanism for transfer in and out or referral of patients. Departments or the staffs involved in this activity are management, clinical team, nursing, emergency room staff, administrative staff, ambulance department, quality team, paramedical and healthcare assistants. Objective element AAC.3a speaks about the protocol for patients wheeled into the hospital. Evidences are the SOPs, policy on transfer in of patients. Written guidance should be available. The patient medical record with transfer summary and transfer details. Then personal competency records evidenced against interview and observation on the system and process. Objective element AAC.3b speaks about the transfer out or referral of patients to another facility. Evidences are transfer out or referral policy should clearly indicate. The SOP should be there. Criteria for transfer out should be there and it should be mentioned clearly. Patient's medical record. The record should demonstrate the clinical condition. Transfer process checklist. Checklist should be followed. Transfer summary should be there. Ambulance logbook. The logbook should contain or mention the date, time, patient details and movement notes. Objective element AAC.3c speaks about the authorization to transfer. Who can transfer? Who are authorized person? Personal competency records, qualification and experience certificates, training records, credentials and privileges documents for doctors, nurses and technicians should clearly indicate the expertise and responsibilities. Staff duty roster should ensure availability of competent resources. Orientation and training records. Employee personal files should demonstrate the respective training attended. AAC.3d objective element AAC.3d speaks about the transfer summary. Evidences are the patient medical record. With the transfer summary should be there. Transfer summary should clearly indicate the clinical conditions, treatment given, and the reason for transfer, including the precautions to adhere to during transit. Ambulance log report again should mention the date, time, patient details, and movement notes. Thank you. In the next video, we'll continue from AAC.4. Thank you for watching. I hope you all like this. If you like, please subscribe to my channel.